Well, once again, Dan Del Negro here, standing by the kitchen where all the magic happens, so to speak. It's time to make lunch today, and we're talking about our daily life practice. So we did some sitting practice, sitting there being aware, coming back from being lost in thought, cultivating this open, non-conceptual awareness of whatever is happening in the moment. And we're going to do the same thing, making some lunch. I'm going to be firing up the espresso machine, getting it ready to make a latte. And I'm going to be taking some food out of the fridge, doing a little chopping, putting it on a plate, and using my convection steamer oven to cook it. And doing some talking, but kind of like experiencing and sharing my experiencing with you of what it's like to chop the food, put it on the plate, see the colors and the textures, swirl the milk for the latte, things like that, whatever it is that goes into preparing lunch. And seeing it, hearing it, and feeling it with this same non-conceptual open awareness. And as you'll see, I found that it was a wonderful experience, as mundane as it sounds. A wonderful experience in that I experienced a much more vivid seeing of the colors. I was using a yellow squash, so the bright yellow, and just the sensations of the weight in my hand of swirling a pitcher of milk, or even putting away the extra squash into a plastic bag. All these things were much more vivid when my mind wasn't occupied elsewhere. And then also I noticed that I did these activities with so much more energy and a feeling of aliveness when my mind wasn't occupied with thoughts. And as invariably happens, thoughts did come in. And I was able to notice them fairly early on and come back to whatever I was doing. So enjoy this episode, and I hope you enjoy preparing your lunch next time. Thank you. Practicing awareness in daily life. One of the things we do a lot, I suppose, is cooking. So I'm getting ready to make lunch now. Let's see what happens. This espresso machine, gonna make a latte. Turn it on. Get this nice coffee cup. A little thought softly creeps in about something I did earlier, some musical thing I did earlier. Come back. Hear that pump buzzing. Well, we're gonna let this warm up for a while. Do a lot of this vegan thing, so. Vegan ground beef. Usually steam that with vegetables. A little yellow squash. Espresso machine's warming up nicely. Just ran the dishwasher. That's done. Beep, beep. Forking a knife out of here. It'll cool off. Okay. So, time for the chopping routine. Last portion of this guy. This is a recyclable container. It's a number 2, so I'm gonna try to get all these little crumbs of the vegan ground beef. So it's interesting. It's kind of cool. Chopping this vegetable and arranging things on the plate. Really kind of feel the energy a little bit more than if I was thinking about something else. Really see the colors. I have this yellow squash. You really see the colors on the plate. And the sort of brown of the vegan ground beef. And the shapes. Some of this stuff left over. I think I might need a little bag. Put these guys together. Yeah, even the sensation of putting some leftover squash into this plastic bag. Really having this open, free awareness coming back from thought. Just the sensations, it's kind of, it's so simple, but feeling the weight go into the bag, making sure it gets into the bag because there's a little sticker on it. It's kind of neat. I want to open it all the way. Yeah. Maybe tying it. Yeah. All these simple everyday activities. You might say, well, what's the big deal? But it's this ongoing practice, this ongoing awareness, and coming back from being lost in thought that we started with our sitting practice. And now we're continuing it on to our everyday activities. The point is to cultivate a habit of being here, being present, no matter what we're doing. If it's mundane, if it's exciting, no matter what it is. And you might say a byproduct of it, maybe a advantage of it, just being aware of these little things, like the color of these vegetables and the sensation of putting something in a bag. I think you could say that's really living. That's really being alive. We're going to move on and put this stuff in the steamer. I got a convection steamer thing. In there. Still feeling those sensations of movement and weight. And now, espresso time. A little barista oat milk, like 2 pitchers. I learned about from one of the baristas on YouTube. I'll probably put a link in the comments. We're going to turn on the grinder, wipe out the portafilter, give it a rinse. Here comes the grind. Tamp it down a little bit. I have a 2-boiler machine, so I can brew the coffee while I'm steaming the milk, which is pretty cool. Oh, speaking of milk, I didn't put it in. There goes the steamer. Got that air injected in there, now I'm raising the cup so it's just heating it up. There goes the coffee. Turn it on. Let's get it warmer. There's the steamer saying, I'm working. Way over. Cleaning the steam wand. Yeah. I use a small, I think it's called toroidal. Yeah, toroidal. No, toroid. Toroid, yeah. It's got this little thing that sticks up in the middle, so instead of steaming it around the edge, you kind of steam right in the middle. It automatically makes a nice swirl. And then I use this bigger guy so I can get in closer to the coffee. Switch that guy, switch the coffee. I think I'm going to continue my practice of, I've done all these latte art things like the heart, the Rosetta. What else is there? Oh, the tulip. But I've been working on the swan. I got the swan with its wings up, one on each side, and the head, the neck and the head in the middle. But I'm working on the swan that you normally see, like the body and then the head off to the left side, the neck, which is kind of nice. Still working on it. We'll see how we do. Oh, but one thing I wanted to comment on, though, while I was actually being aware of steaming that milk, we're not really looking for a really intense focus, like, I gotta concentrate on steaming this milk, man. It's more of a very gentle, open kind of awareness. And that's what I was able to do for a little while. Yeah, so we're looking for this kind of relaxed awareness. Just being aware, just kind of letting go of thought and then doing something like I was just doing. I was steaming the milk. So, well, let's apply it to what we're doing next. We're doing the pour, man. I'm swishing around the milk, just keep it stirred up, keep it a nice consistency. I want to like really focus and like like that. I'm kind of like I'm open, so naturally you're gonna be aware of what you're doing. Like I can feel the milk swirling around, I can feel the weight on the pitcher. And you're a little more open to whatever comes up next. Like I had an itchy head, so anyway, here's the pour. Well, it's milk came out really thin. Oh, he's going. What happened? Anyway, get a little out of there. Swirl around to him. Yeah, I don't think I'm even gonna show that off. Started out really thin. I don't know why. But anyway, here we go. So now the cleaning phase. Finish up the portafilter, wipe it out a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of interesting shooting this video and talking and also doing these activities. I just now thought, oh yeah, I should have probably moved the camera when I was rinsing this thing out. It's various thoughts. That one tool we mentioned in our sitting practice, what is this? In other words, what's happening right now? I employed that. So what is this? Oh, here we are. Brushing up filter, using a little rinse. There's a sponge on here. There it is. Full of wine glass. Stuff in here. Okay. Another thing I notice doing these everyday activities with this increased awareness, if you will, like this coming back from being lost in thought, which tends to multiply, not on a linear scale, but tends to maybe peaks and valleys and a general climb of being more aware, being less lost in thought. But I noticed, like just now, like I was cleaning, not only perceiving more, like the sensations, the sounds, and the colors, of course, but also freeing up of energy. So, because the energy isn't divided between paying attention to a thought and doing what you're doing. You're right there, so that's another thing. Help you do it better. And another enjoyable thing about this practice, like just feeling that life energy being used for whatever you're doing. Ah, there's the signal. Mr. Steamer is done. Makes all these cute sounds. Okay, we're going to open this baby up and let the residual steam out of there. So, the next big question, what am I going to put on this stuff? Let's take it out first. Got the little gloves so I don't burn my hand. This thing is pretty hot. There it is. Steam just right every time. Turn off the light. Okay, what do we got? Got some vegan A's over here. I'm all vegan right now. What else? Let's put some kind of spice in there too. Paprika. That sounds like fun. Sprinkle. Yeah, this open awareness. So feeling that sensation of shaking it, the weight between my arm moving, and then that openness of the awareness, like instantly segue, to use a musical term, to the next thing, which is, I guess I heard a sound. Yeah, maybe see the overall picture. Got to get my knife. Spread this vegan A's on there. Feel a cat coming on. Spreading it on the food. These yellow squashes. No, and the ground beef. Extra off the knife with the fork. Yeah, good. Put this away. Oh yeah, we're out of. I really like this chipotle vegan. It's a little spicy. I just ran out of it. So we'll store it pretty soon. Put away the paprika. So there we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you that latte. You know, it doesn't look all that great. Let's see if we can do it without spilling it. Yeah. Yeah. Sort of like a swan, you know. And then we have our lunch all ready to go. So I'll be continuing this daily life practice with the eating. Time when we often, get lost in thought, but I'll be coming back and tasting the food, just feeling the sensation of chewing and swallowing, and feeling that nutrition come into my body, things like that. And open, I might hear another sound somewhere, I might notice something outside, but continuing to do this daily life practice. So join me next time you make a meal, and we'll be doing a lot of other things in our daily life practice. But for now, take care. See you soon. So that was making lunch in our daily life practice. Seemingly mundane stuff, seemingly everyday stuff, which it is, but made a little more enjoyable, a little more lively, turning it into an activity that's more full of life. Just because I was more aware, I was more present, I was less lost in thought, and my energies were devoted to the action, the chopping, making a latte, and the seeing, like the close of the food, and later on it will be the tasting. So that's our segment for today. I hope you join me in this daily life practice, and there's more to come. Thank you.